Our next guest, also there in Poland, ANDRZEJ Kassenberg, is the co-founder of the Institute for Sustainable Development. He's currently involved in projects focused on the climate crisis, on energy and transport, and he is the winner of several awards for his work, including the Scientific Award of the Polish Academy of Sciences, and is good enough now to join us live via satellite from Warsaw. And Dr. Kassenberg, again, we do appreciate your time. And before we talk specifically about Poland and its fossil fuel dependence, I wonder, relative to other countries there in the European Union, how much does Poland still depend on coal as a source of energy?
You know, generally Poland is the leading country in this subject. It's about the 80% of the electricity production came from the hard coal and lignite. And about the 70% of the heat is coming from the hard coal. And we not calculated the natural gas, which is the fossil fuel too.
We heard the Vice President a bit earlier discussing some stark and rather terrifying statistics as it relates to Poland. In fact, in Warsaw, a baby born will inhale the equivalent of 1,000 cigarettes in his or her first year of life, and for every year after that. And so on an industrial level, we do see that dependence. But what other factors contribute then to air pollution there in Poland?
You know, generally we need to divide for two elements. One is, low stack emission, which is called smog. Smog is quite, substantial issue in Poland. For 50 cities the most polluted 50 cities in European Union, 36 are from Poland. We are on the level like the Bulgaria on the end of these lists. And it is one element, it is calculated about 48,000 people, died earlier that it's necessary. But the other element is related to the climate change directly. It means about, the heat islands. For example, in Warsaw, heat islands, kill about the 40% more that it's necessary. It's the problem of the sea level, it's the problem of the drought, which is quite difficult in this country, and it's a problem of the flood and the heavy rains that we as a nation we paid quite substantial bill, of course, much lower than in Africa or, in Syria, but still we are paying, and it's necessary to take into account health, environment, and economy, which is not taken into account because we are going like the, blind people to see, if it's possible to see, if you are blind people to call.
And we did see a countryman of yours, a quote was invoked of his in which he, to paraphrase it, essentially said, it is a myth that coal is somehow cheap. It's simply that the price is paid in different ways. And this is a price we see, Dr. Kassenberg, paid not just in urban communities, but in rural ones as well.
Generally speaking, the coal is the most expensive fuel in Poland, especially right now when the cost of the hard coal is quite high and the allowances of the CO2 emission is rising up to €20 per ton of the CO2. And this is the important to know that if you calculated the subsidies, if you calculated the external cost, the hard coal and especially the lignite are the most expensive fuel in Poland. It is calculated that from the changes 1990 up to today, 230 billion Polish zlotych, it was the subsidies. And about 1 trillion of the Polish zlotych, it is external costs. And that is the element it's necessary to take into account. If you not take into account, that means that you are lying to the people and you're lying to the world, because we need to be a responsible nation for all Earth, not only for our own, yard.
And it's made all the more difficult when you do not have governmental support. Certainly at the federal level, it has been a sad refrain that we have heard from guest after guest throughout our program here. And so I wonder, given the fact that your government does still support fossil fuel dependency, what progress are you seeing made there to increase sustainable development in Poland?
You know, the government is supporting because government is in the political trap. About 1 million, 2 million voters are related to the energy and the mining lobby. And it is the one element. But you can see many activities, especially many activities in the cities, in small communities. On the one hand, it is the solar, wind, biomass energy. Other element, it is, you know, the public transport. In some of the public transport, for example, if the city of Warsaw rely on the electricity, this is the hybrid, this is the LNG, and you can find quite a lot of people who are protect the green areas, which are very important, you know, to stabilize the local climate, as well as to sequestration of the CO2 from the air. You can see a lot of, you know, civic society. We have a special movement which is called More the Energy, and it's you know, hundreds of the people, cities, business people, but we are not so strong lobby to make a pressure of the politicians, unfortunately, and we are very dispersed all of the countries. But miners and the energy sectors are located in the Upper Silesia, that it's today in some kind of the Hippocratics, that in Katowice we organize the climate summit, which needs to you know, cut the coal and the fossil fuel to very fast, almost to the middle of this century. Mm-hmm.
Well, we do hope, again, with COP24 taking place there in Katowice, that some real change can indeed be made, certainly change supported by all of your work, Dr. Kassenberg, and we thank you for joining us here on 24 Hours of Reality.